you're blind. You're trying to escape from here, aren't you? I want to see how far you can make it before your head is chopped off. Good luck not getting killed.
Alright, well, welcome to Gateway International Raceway, also known as Worldwide Technology Raceway. For Raceverse, this is Matt Houston bringing you the Carolina SimWorks Tuesday Night Thunder final round of the 12-round season. We've crowned our champion and runner-up last week, Oyson Walsh taking the championship, and Ray Kingsbury taking P2. We're in qualifying with about 2.5 minutes left here tonight. In that qualifying session, we've got a few drivers still sitting on pit lane. I'm not sure if we had EOLs or no quals that we were supposed to be doing here tonight. But we got the Kingsbury brothers are back out here tonight, I see. Jason Owens is sitting on pit lane. He's coming out now. We also have some special liveries for Jason. Thank you to him. We'll feature that at some point later on tonight. Not on his car. He's got that Extra Life car. He'll be streaming over on the Twitch channels at the moment. Brandon Lambert just did a lap, but we'll watch our admin here. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer up. What's the best that we can do here? TV1 camera appears to be the best we can do. We've got some music running. And I'll take that down. Welcome everybody to the broadcast out there tonight. Final broadcast that we're going to be running of the Tuesday Night Thunder. For this broadcast, we'll transfer over to one of our broadcast colleagues. And we wish them the best with the new season. And of course, as always, we want to thank Jason Owens as he heads for the green flag here, and Carolina SimWorks. You saw their sponsorship reel at the very start there. Jason goes P9 provisionally. Familiar name up there, provisional pole, Oyson Walsh. Kingsbury brothers looking like they might just end up starting from the back and seeing how this goes. Tag team from the back. So it appeared that Walsh, the single lap, or the last lap that he did was the fast one. Are they faster on the second lap as Jason goes across the start-finish line? Yes, he was faster on that lap, going up to P5. As we have about 20 seconds left in qualifying. And I would say this is a good time to go to our grid. So Oyson Walsh on the grid here tonight. Our champion in P1, familiar place for him. I think he won 6 times this season in the 12-round season. James Curtis there in P2. Simon Fell in P3. Daniel E. Smith, P4. Jason Owens, P5. Wes Shire, P6. Patrick Byrne, P7. James Watson, P8. J. William Walker, P9. Robert Gamble, our winner from last week, in P10. Kevin Smalley, P11. Jason Perdue in P12. Chad Irvine, P13. Brandon Lambert in P14. Mike Gosler, P15. Mackenzie Galata, P16. And our couple no qualifiers, Matt Kingsbury. First round from him back since the initial opening round of the season. And Ray Kingsbury, his brother, our champion runner-up there. So that is our grid here for tonight. Unfamiliar, we're going to be only doing one pace lap here. A little bit different. I think that Walsh should have probably done a no qual 2 and had to come through the field. That would have been entertaining for us to see. Looks like we've got Christian Jasper out in the crowd here tonight. Hey, Christian. And I'll have to remember to take down this music when we go green, or when we start pacing here momentarily. The Gateway Speedway, familiar place. Actually, I think this might be the track that I've actually broadcast the most in Raceverse broadcasting, because we've run it in the Raceverse Challenge, we've run it in the Reddit series, and, well, we've run it several times, and now we're running it here tonight, also in the Schaefer's Turbo and Cup series, so familiar place to have our championships, actually, rounds both seasons of Reddit. Still waiting on the Kingsburys to grid up, apparently. They might not be ridden up. Maybe they're just calling it a day. Well, that would leave us with only, what did we say, 16 cars then? They went 17th and 18th. So let me see if I can get it. I believe this is a Chad Irvine livery here. Got a picture of, I believe that is Jason on the side, and it says, thank you, Jason, and our fearless leader on the side. And there will be several cars in the field here tonight. I believe this is a Chad Irvine special here that several cars are driving. I'm not seeing a Homestead Coffee on here, though, or Carolina Simworks, so I think that would have been a good touch to add. As we'll take down our music here. Pace Car's gonna do it's a bit of a late duck in here that they're gonna do. That's how we do it at Gateway. And green flag, final green flag of the season. Well, I guess we have possible cautions, that kind of thing. And here they come. Oyson Walsh takes the lead into turn 1, out of turn 2. James Curtis staying in P2. Simon Fell, different livery for Simon there, unfamiliar one. Taking over the 3rd spot, struggling for grip through turn 4. As Walsh just checks out on his own here. We've got more maneuvering through the field. Jason Owens, probably Jason wanting to get his win. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Let's see. Chad Irvine up into the wall here. That is unfortunate. Good look of delivery, though. That's right, Christian. I called it too early, saying that was our final green flag. But I mean, final start of the race. But that was a 55-minute race here. That was a tow for Chad. Is anybody else involved? We'll get, yeah, Jason Perdue involved with that. We'll get a replay of this one brought up here. Just right off the start here. This is going to be down in turn 1 and 2. Looks like Perdue and Irvine. This is really tough, particularly in the Indy cars, to hold the line down at the bottom when you go low. And that's exactly what it looks like. A little bit of understeer for Chad Irvine in turn 1 and 2. We'll get another replay of this. Let's see here. That was a little bit too late. Let's get a rewind here. Yeah, he just tries to do a little bit of a dive bomb, gets a little bit of understeer. And unfortunately, Padoo's kind of the innocent bystander there. Running that high line, you gotta put a lot of trust into the car that's underneath you. So Walsh is our leader. And we'll go back to live pictures. I'm sure we've got Jason Padoo is on the in the pit lane getting some repairs. It looks like Chad Irvine's called it a day though. Now, I won't be able to calculate these, but I did want to mention this to the viewer. It's really difficult to calculate these when we have drop weeks. But basically, as we were saying before, Walsh will be in P1 and P2 is Ray Kingsbury. But we've kind of got a wide open battle for the third spot in the championship, and that is between, currently Robert Gamble is in P3. That was our winner from last week. Kevin Smalley in P4. He actually has not won this season, but he's had really solid finishes throughout, so I bet he wants to get a win here somewhere. James Watson in P5, Wes Shire in P6, so kind of Wes has a little bit of an outside shot, but it's basically between Gamble and Smalley, and a little bit Watson, our Schaefer's Turbo champion in P5 in the championship there. Watson does know how to, he knows how to bring it down to the wire here with that Schaefer's Turbo Series that he ended up winning. Looking at iRating here, I didn't really talk about this that much this season, but Oyson Walsh has a 5,900 iRating. That's way higher than anybody else in the field. It's an oval iRating. So he's kind of in a class of his own out there. Lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to be going back to green here momentarily. Yeah, it's great news that Watson's going to be defending his championship as Walsh brings us back to the green flag. Originally, Watson was not going to defend that. I don't know if the time didn't work out for him, but he's going to do it now, and I'm excited to see that coming up on race first, more towards the summer in June. Back to green flag. 50 minutes to go in this race. We're going to have, with green flag running, we're going to have at least one pit stop, if not two, like we did last week. Shire's running the Homestead coffee livery. That is what I'm drinking tonight. That's basically what I drink every broadcast, is this Homestead coffee stuff that Wes got me onto, and it is good stuff. As Watson goes low on Shires. So there could be a strategy here to run that high line in turn 1 and 2. Save your tires just a little bit. Gamble there, our P3 spot. And Owen's moving into that third position over Simon Fell. Owen's going to set his sights on James Curtis in P2. Going on board with Jason here. Jason's going to be really familiar with this track because he runs the official PM-18 Indy Pro 2000 series, and this is a familiar track that they run a lot. This track is perfect for these cars. Not too big, We saw that pack race at Homestead, and I believe, where do we run? Did we run it in Texas? Yeah, we ran Texas in the Schaefer's Turbo. Those are just kind of banging up against the rev limiter at that place, but driving skill, some great setups have to be built to get around this track. As you can see, Walsh already separating out 1.8 seconds. We'll have to ask Walsh on the broadcast if he's planning to defend his championship. Ooh, Jason's really getting low right on that rumble strip in turn 1 and 2. Looks inside of Curtis. Jason wants to get around. He doesn't want to... okay, and he goes inside. Oh, that was Curtis getting a little too high. I saw sparks. But he keeps it going. Side by side through turn 1 and 2. This is not a battle for the lead, but it may as well be. James Curtis in P2. Jason Owens in P3. Simon Fell in that black and blue car in P4. Daniel Smith in P5. Patrick Byrne in P6. Joining into this battle. They go side by side through turn 1 and 2. Again, you can see Curtis having a really good run off that high line. And Owens is going to have to dive back behind him as he's coming under threat now from Simon Felt, who's coming under threat from Daniel Smith. Great battle for P2 position. This is like throw a blanket over him from P2 to P8 as Jason goes inside once again. And he's got a really good run this time. Not quite going to make it. He's got to hold that line through turn 3, and then I think he can get it. And Simon Fell dives low on Jason here. Showing Jason what he needs to do, and we're side by side, Patrick Byrne and Daniel Smith back there. That's a little bit hard to see because they are running the same livery, the Jason Owens thank you livery. No effect from Curtis getting a high, shooting up those sparks, coming off of 4 of that 5x5 laps ago. No effect on him though. That could have just been some net code that we saw on our end. Jason having to get out from trying to insert his front wing into the rear of Curtis there. And he's going to have another really good run into turn 1 and 2 here, as does Patrick Byrne on Simon Fell. Making for some great racing here at Gateway. That's Mackenzie Galata coming out of the pits there. Keeping out of the way. He goes a lap down. Early pit for Mackenzie. Looks like he pit for tires. Might be strategic on that one, I'm not sure. Might have brushed the wall too. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Our reports are that is Smalley and Gosler, and that's not looking good for Smalley. No rear wing there. He can get that repaired though. Hey Jasper, are you gonna run any of the iRacing Super Speedway this week? IndyCar fixed. Only do it if you're insane, like I am. Oh, Gosler dives inside. With that said, Molly's car might be okay with the replacement of that rear wing, because he didn't have any wall contact there. Let's get a look at Gosler once again now. He had a run that he kind of needed to get out of there. We got some cars coming down pit lane. Watching these replays. iRacing pit stops aren't the most exciting thing, so we'll just keep on the replay here. This is Gosler gonna look inside. And that just that closed up really early. And I could see Galata was also... So, interesting. We've got Walsh. Watson has somehow jumped. I think Watson hasn't taken tires. Has jumped Walsh. But the top 8 cars have not pit. Interesting strategies coming up here. Kevin Smalley's getting his rear wing. He's not going to go a lap down. It doesn't appear. Let me double check. Yeah, pace car's not coming by yet. That's good. Yeah, I ran the iRacing Super Speedway Strength of Field race last night. I was in the second split, and I crashed, as in I crashed a desktop on the second lap because of that bug that when a car flies into the catch fence, people randomly crash. And then I loaded back into the session, and somehow, of 23 cars, I finished 9th. That's how wreckfest it was at the iRacing Super Speedway. So, only join that race at your own peril. But it's kind of one of those things you gotta do once, like the Daytona and Talladega and an IndyCar. So James Curtis is going to be our leader here. Jason Owens. We're going to see something really interesting here now. We're going to see how Walsh can cut through this field. It might be a little bit easier, though, because the 8 cars ahead of him are on older tires. So let's see, are we going... No, light's still on the pace car. Let's do a quick commercial break for our awesome sponsor. Alright, and we are back. James Curtis is our leader. So, let me quickly look. Curtis is... I'm getting mixed up here. Curtis is P9 in points. Did have a win earlier in the season. A strong contender, but he had some really bad luck in about 3 or 4 races this season, and he brings us back to the green flag. He does an early run there, and what we really want to watch is what Walsh does here, this black and red car here. Let's go on board with him, in fact. He's going to slice through this field, I have to imagine. That is Watson ahead of him. He did pit for fuel. Did not take tires, though, as far as I can tell. They did get around Gamble there on P8, and you can see that great setup that Walsh has. Getting a good run through turn 1 and 2, but not quite able to make it happen. So we got a blinker up there. So Walsh, Watson moving into P5, Walsh in P6. That was Robert Gamble who had pit, giving up a spot back to 8th now. Actually, something updated there. We got a blinker up there that it was 5th and 6th. They're going around Daniel Smith. Almost 3 wide here through turn 4. Walsh trying to get around. Does not decide to dive low on that one. He's gonna have a really good run out of turn 2 though. He's gonna take over that spot. But Watson comes back. We appreciate these different colored rims, I think, don't we? Oh, we got a car up into the wall. That was Brandon Lambert and a couple other cars, but importantly, Walsh got through, Watson got through, Gamble got through, Owens is fine. We'll get a replay of Patrick Byrne. Looks like he got involved with that, so let's get a replay of that. He just goes wide. Oh, comes off that corner, and then Patrick Byrne, nothing really he can do. Get another look from at Patrick. Follow him on the camera this time. Patrick is just trying to go low, and I did that to somebody recently, and they were not appreciative of it. It was at Phoenix, though. So all those cars that had not pit have gone ahead and pit. Watson is going to stay in the lead. It looks like Walsh is going to top up on fuel again here. This is interesting. So Watson, Owens, Shire, William Walker, and then Curtis. Well, I'm thankful to Walsh for making the strategy interesting here. Looks like we got, who was that? Somebody was getting, oh, okay, it was Galata getting their lucky dog. Yeah, going back to the iRacing Super Speedway, I was the only one, as far as I could tell, that had the crash to desktop. There was a crash of cars that caused this, because a car went into the catch fence or something. But yeah, there was just a lot of cautions, even though it was only a 40-lap race, and one crash took... Well, there was a restart crash. It took out like 5 or 6 cars, so that's how I somehow ended up finishing 9th. 2 laps down. But yeah, iRacing does need to fix that particular bug. There's something when the Indy cars hit the catch fence that it causes random people to crash. "35 minutes here to go. Watson is our leader. Let's do a Echo Blade commercial here.
You're blind. You're trying to escape from here, aren't you? I want to see how far you can make it before your head is chopped off.
Back once again. That was Echo Blade. available for wish listing on Steam. Early access available sometime this summer, maybe. Last I checked. James Watson, here is our P1 position. Walsh is actually starting way back in P9. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he got a speeding in the pit lane penalty, like something that knocked him back. Pace car is going to be coming in momentarily. Did a good pace cars. Jason Owens in P2. This is his chance. He wants to win in his own league here this season. And he has a really good shot to do it here tonight. He's got a car that can run that, those curves. Oh, we've got a caution. And I don't know who it is. It is Walsh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. This is interesting. That was Gosler. See, I'm not 100% sure what happened to this. I think this is just some hard racing here. Oh, that was an odd crash. I'm not sure even what to say about that one. It looked like there might have been some netcode. Let's see if we can, like, might be able to get a slow-mo on this. So, like, right about here, I feel like right there's some, like, netcode or something. Because you could see Gosler getting hit. That was a lot of netcode, if that's what it was. And then they just both go spinning. There was like a meter of netcode there. But yeah, that doesn't have championship implications. But it has implications for this race. And we might have Walsh calling it a night. Let's see. If I'm gonna just check the chat here. If Walsh did want to come up to talk, I would be happy to talk to him. He was our champion, and we didn't get a chance to talk to him about it because he DNF'd last week as well, and apparently DNF'd in this week. Kevin Smalley getting a top up here. And just double checking here, let's see. Watson is our leader, has not won a race this season in the TNT here. Obviously we know he won over in the Schaefer's Turbo. Yeah, I felt like, going back to that crash, I felt like there was a moment where I felt like it looked like there was a touch and you could see like contact between those two cars. I mean, it certainly could have been they both lost it at the same time, but there's something with how Gosler's car went. It looked like there was contact, but it was, you know, ghostly contact. So. But he's been sitting on the pit lane for 23 minutes. Smith has been out there for 8 minutes. Is Gosler's called a day. We've only got 9 cars still running in the field. This is a wide open race at this point. I think everybody has to probably pit here. I don't want to jinx anything, but if we have a lot more caution, we wouldn't. But I think with the if we go green flag for quite a bit of this, everyone will have to stop off for tires, and then it'll be the question of do you take new tires? They'll need fuel, but do they take new tires or not? Lights are still on the pace car, so we're not going this time. That was just my guess, though, Christian. I'm not really 100% sure. if Walsh or Gosler had contact before that, they would know that. They'd be the ones that know whether that was a net code or not. Do you think that James Watson would like if I pulled him up to the booth while he's leading the race? I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that mean. West Shire, well, he almost had a win last week when we had a double spinner, and I think it was Watson and Shire both spinning. It might have been Curtis, though. Pretty much everybody's on about the same strategy at this point. And we are green. Somebody's going to need to have a setup that can pass on that low line through turn 1 and 2. That's where we've seen some cars struggling with that. James Curtis having a run off of the second turn on William Walker here in P4. They go inside into turn 3. Tires coming up to temperature. As far as I can tell from that last stop, Watson does have older tires than Owens. I'm just basing that off of time of the pit stop. Now Wes has got a good run on Jason. Jason got a little bit of it looked like arrow wash coming out of turn 4. And Wes has a car that can really run that low line. Does a little bit of a slide job coming off of turn 2, but it was clear, so you know, you want to come off that corner on the high side. And now Wes is going to go for the lead here. And Jason's going to try to follow him. Thinks better of it, though. And Wes takes over that lead. And Jason's going to get it second place, too. Drag race down the back straightaway. Looks like he's finally going to make this work. Watson losing 2 spots in 1 lap. But he tries to come back on the high side. Yeah, 2 spots in 1 lap. That's the older tires that work there. So our new leader, West Shire. Looks like some action-packed stuff here from P4 to P8. As we're just under 25 minutes, about halfway done with the race here tonight. That was lap 37. Gamble looking inside of William Walker back here. Sorry, I had to cut away from there for a moment to look at what was going on in the front. But Gamble, Simon Fell has about a healthy gap up to P5, about a second. But a good battle from Gamble, William Walker, and Smalley. Galata's just cruising around here in P9. I'm going to try to pick up some spots if anybody else drops out here. Go on board with Jason Owens. Hear those tires scrubbing. But he's able to run that white line. He's got a setup that he seems really confident with. Sometimes you don't want to go too close to that curbing on that white line. Look at that. He just puts a tire on there. And just Shire's gaining just a little bit there, about a 10th per lap maybe. That last lap for West was a 31.6 to Jason Owens 31.7. So fastest lap of the race does belong to, oh, no surprise here. The car that is out in P11, Oyson Walsh, our champion, he had the fastest lap of the race. But as the fuel comes down, and if we have a late pit stop and get some new tires on these things, we might be able to get some faster laps here. Heck, we might even get into a point where Jason might think about undercutting Wes. If he can get that final pit stop and do it early as possible, and no caution comes out, that could be something that happens here. And again, that's a question of, do you take tires or not? If you don't take tires, it's a 4-second pit stop. If you take tires, it's a 7-second pit stop. Our cars are starting to spread out here a little bit. Smalley is caught up to Gamble here. So we'll have to see how these points play out, but Watson has a chance to overtake Gamble. I think it's evaporating, though. Slowly evaporating. Curtis is catching up to Watson in Q3. It looks like the new tires is helping out these guys now that we've had some green flag running here. Back at the front, 1-2, Westshire, Jason Owens. We got some battle here. Simon Fell catching up to Curtis. Side by side between Curtis and Watson here. Yeah, I would have to think so. Never know, though. Don't want to jinx it. Oh, see, there's where it could have been right there. Curtis and Watson. The two James. We got Curtis 3 and Watson 10. Jason's catching up here, so let me just look at starting spots here. Westshire started P6 up to first. Yeah, I don't want to say it, Christian. I've said it so many times. I've done so many commentator curses this season. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a green flag pit stop here. And then it's a matter of, this is a really tricky pit road there, like that access road is really tricky. Kevin Smalley looking inside of Gamble. That's William Walker on the back there. Side by side out of the turn 2. And then back to single file on the back straightaway. These cars look great under the lights here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Some people call it Gateway, some people call it Worldwide Technology Raceway. Whichever you desire. I'd say Gateway. That's what it says in the thumbnail, I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? Really comparative laps here for Shire. They were both at a 31.6 last lap. Let me double check fastest laps. And Owens now has the fastest lap as the fuel has come down. And I'll quickly show you on the screen there. Those are our lap speeds in miles per hour. 142.623 average. As I saw at the front there, that is Mackenzie Galata in one of our special liveries for today. Let's see if he just kind of pulls it down to the low side. Or if the fix is in for our fearless leader here. Oh boy. Here we go, drag race. This isn't interesting. Owens is gonna look inside. This could be his chance to get in low on Shire. Shire's gonna come back on the outside though. Side by side down the front straightaway. Owens has the edge. And they're gonna go side by side through turn 1 and 2. Owens led that lap. Let me put up the gaps back up, and Shire comes back on the outside. A really good chance there for Jason. Jason had a really good run there on the straightaway. Thought better of pulling out again. This is a heck of a race, even though we have half of the field are out of this one. It's a heck of a race. That only takes 2 cars to make a great race. Also a battle between Curtis and Watson back here for P3. Final podium position. Final interviewing rights here for Curtis or Watson. Smalley working on Gamble. So hard to pass here, like it's that whole low line thing as William Walker looked to the inside. And Owens is getting around, got a great run on Shire once again, and he pulls it off. Now Shire's we're gonna have to see what he can do on that low side. Let's get a quick replay of this. This is a replay here. Late lunge into turn 3 and 4. And Owens completes that pass in turn 3 and 4 on the exit. Back to live pictures. And we have 14 minutes to go. They've been out here for 40 laps. And I think they're going to be pit stops in the next 5 minutes or so. Let me double check one thing. I see Daniel Smith is back out on the track. So we have 10 cars running on track at the moment. from 11th and 18th are out. And Shire goes for the lead in turn 3 and 4, basically repeating that process. Oh boy, close between Owens, and Owens is going to actually lead that lap too, even though Shire took the lead. These tires, I think everybody, well, this is that 3 seconds. Is there enough time to overcome that 3-second difference? I don't know. Yeah, last lap was 32-second laps. This scrap is really slowing them down. And Owens was really close on that rear gearbox of Shire coming out of turn 4, side by side through turn 1 and 2. One thing that's also going to be tricky, if they do not take tires, the pit exit will be a little bit trickier because the tires are going to be slick. They'll be hot. So, just a little mistake. They don't usually run on hot tires coming out of the pit lane. So we'll see what happens. Owens has a really good run there, but thinks better of it. But we are being put on for a show here tonight between 1 and 2. Owens dropped back there. He thought better of that pass, but he actually ended up dropping back about 0.4 of a second. I don't know if he wanted to drop back that far. He's gonna have to reel Shire back in now, I think. And this is the battle for P3 and P4. That other car at the back there is Galata, not for position. And now Watson's gonna try this scrap that Owens, and they were really, really close. And Curtis is gonna come back on the low side. Side by side through turn 1 and 2. We also have another battle back here. This is Smalley and Gamble and Walker. Walker's going to take over the 7th spot. Yeah, I have to imagine that. Oh, and William Walker getting on that rumble strip there. You got to be careful with these tires getting old. Jason's caught back up about 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second from almost half a second earlier. Another run for the lead. 10 minutes to go in this race. That's going to be about 20 laps here, as this is lap 66 complete. And he drops back a little bit more now. So Watson has gotten around Curtis, even though Watson had a little bit older tires. Not that much older, like 10 lap older tires. Side by side for 7th position. Walker gets out of it. Oh, and Owens is dropping back a little bit more. He's back to 0.7 of a second now. If I was him, I'd probably head onto the pit lane. It's a tough decision to make, though. Again, these tires. Somebody's got to blink first, though. I know you don't want that caution to come out. once you've made that decision. But I think you want to go for the win, and you got to make a strategy call that's going to be different than the guy ahead of you. Last lap was pretty quick, actually. Owens, because he's getting that toe from Shire, Owens was close to his personal best. It was a 142 mile an hour lap. Watson and Walker have hit the pit lane. So it looks like Watson took tires. William Walker in the pit lane as well. Looks like Shire's going to commit to the pit lane here, as is Owens as well. Off pit lane. Does one of them go with no tires? Watch out for that speeding penalty. Our leaders are in the pit lane, and they look good. Curtis is coming in as well. Gamble stays out. So Gamble takes the lead. And Shire and Owens are going to come off. They did not take new tires. Neither of them took new tires. Curtis took new tires. We'll see what Jason can do. They've got fuel to the end now. 6 minutes to go. Or at least as far as I can tell, they didn't take new tires. It's a 7-second versus... they ended up doing... Jason did have a better pit stop. And he looks like he's right there. 4-second pit stop to Wes's 5.4, actually. 4.1. Not enough to get him around him, though. Gamble and Smalley up at the front. Go on board here with Jason. You can hear Jason backed out of it actually there. Listening to these tires. Jason's got a pretty good run here. You can see that arrow wash. He's got to get out of it just a little bit. We are 0.2 of a second as Gamble hits the pit lane. Extra Life car versus the Homestead Coffee car. Kevin Smalley's still out there. There's somebody really slow. Daniel Smith. I wonder if he almost looks like he's crabbing a little bit. Do not bring out the caution. Oh boy. And we have caution. Are we going to be able to get this thing back to green? Oh boy. Kevin Smalley is our leader at the moment. Does he have to pit? Kevin Smalley has not won a race this season. He's 3 minutes from winning his first race of the season. What a gamble. So let's look at... I feel bad for looking at replay of what happened here, but we gotta see what happened. So, oh boy, that back in... So, Daniel had some damage from earlier in the race, from one of the incidents. And that rear gets a little bit loose, and that was right in front of Smalley. He impacts the inside pit wall pretty hard. Then he's crabbing. He's crabbing down the straightaway. That's not normal. You can see some cars and driving down the street sometimes that are doing that. Best advised to stay away from. And he just loses it on the inside. Rolls up the track. And then he towed. Well, let's do our final commercial of the race season side by side here with the Carolina Simworks. All right, we are back. 40 seconds left in the season. I think this is gonna be it for us, folks. Lights still on the pace car. No green-white checkers here. As we bring in some music. We're moments away from Smalley getting his first win of the season. And that will be taking us out of the first season of the Tuesday Night Thunder series. The series will be back on May 4th, I believe. Provisional schedule. It'll have an all-new broadcaster. But it can't change nights because it's Tuesday Night Thunder. So, final lap. Under caution. We've had a lot of these in under caution, but this was an exceptional race here tonight. Great battle between Westshire, Jason Owens. And if Jason really wanted to get that win. Not going to happen this season. And Smalley is going to be our winner here. Crossing the start-finish line. There it is. Great race. Great. We're still saying final lap here, so I don't know if that was actually the final lap, and the lights are out on the pace car. We'll see what happens here. I'm pretty sure it's over. It would usually say finishing, though, if that was actually the final lap. Yeah, thanks, Christian. We look forward to seeing you in the Formula Indy series. I think you're like the number one race first fan here because you're always in the broadcast. There's our pace cars diving in. We're gonna go green for like a moment here. And that's that. Okay. And we're finishing now. And we're finished. So that was Kevin Smalley taking the win there. There's a little bit of funny thing when you run the ovals with a timed race. I thought for a moment that Wes was going to get by Kevin there. And we got our fireworks. I wonder if we have a good camera angle on those fireworks. Luckily somebody's hanging out over there. There we go. And I'm pretty sure that Kevin is doing some donuts here, probably. And he's got fuel enough to get some donuts here. Congratulations to Kevin. We'll bring him up for an interview momentarily. Oh, Ian, it's the end of the wall. That's a common thing to do. Really easy to do. Alright, let's see if I can bring somebody up. Well, let me be right back for a moment. Set this up. Alright, we are back, and I'm trying to find the Discord. There we are. Let's see. No Kevin Smalley in here, so he'll be in here momentarily, unless I'm looking at the wrong place, possibly. We'll bring up, Wes was there, and then he disappeared. Yep, there's Wes. I'll bring up Wes. I think you know what he's doing. Hey, Wes. Are you there? Oops. I don't have my push to talk on. There we go. Hey, Wes. I didn't have my push to talk on. So hopefully get an interview with Kevin. But interesting race, really great race at the front between you and Jason. And then unfortunate caution for you, it looked like.
Yeah, no, that was a really, really fun race. Certainly some of the best racing we've had in quite a while. That was, man, just back and forth every lap. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was, like you just said, probably the best racing we've had, and it was side by side, and, there's two distinct lines that really have their pluses and minuses, like through turn 1 and 2. You get that high line going, and the low line. You can't get through there as fast. Tell me about your setup and how that all worked out for you tonight, and your venture from 6th up to the front.
Yeah, so actually the set started. Jason sent me something to try, and I just kind of worked from there, loosened it up a ton, really made it a high line set. That's just kind of what I favor. As for the actual race, if I'm honest, I bottled my qualifying lap pretty bad. I think I was probably good enough for 3rd, maybe 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
But is what it is, and just had to work my way through. it's really just kind of it looks like I'm close enough to the pit window to pit. The cautions fell at just about the right times. That last caution, or not last caution, the last pit stop though. I was kind of hoping that Jason would take tires, just kind of not be thinking it. I just sneak away with a free couple of seconds from not taking tires. But that didn't happen, and we came out right together. Wish it had stayed green, but really happy for Kevin for him to get a win.
Yeah, that would be his first win. But yeah, I was talking about it. I was, the delta between taking the tires. It looked like he actually did have, through iRacing magical RNG, he did have a faster pit stop than you at a 4.1 seconds. You're 5.4, but you were able to get out ahead of him. And it was clear sailing for you from there. But yeah, I was curious if either of you were going to take tires. A couple other guys did take tires, like James Curtis looked like he took tires, and so did Watson. And that's why Simon Fell got P4, it looks like. But really great season here. You nearly won. I mean, this one I'd count you as nearly winning. You almost won last week as well. You won at Iowa, so really you almost got 3 of them here, but you come away with 1. So really good season. You're going to be back here for season 2, I'm assuming?
Oh, absolutely. And I think I figured out something with the setup that'll hopefully keep me near the front a little bit more often.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things in this series that I think a lot of the drivers might not have been used to an open setup series. And I know you're running the tuner series over there as well, but people are kind of getting used to this. And we've had some great races the last maybe 3 or 4, I'd say. So it's really heading in the right direction. I sent Jason a message earlier today saying kind of the same thing, that he's established this league now, and it's got good things up ahead. So
yeah, certainly looking forward to the next season.
Yeah. Any final shout outs to your sponsor, Homestead Coffee? Anybody else watching out there?
Oh yeah,
DMT
business
Group maybe? I don't know.
not yet. I have yet to draft them into the realms of racing here. But usual thanks to Homestead Coffee for keeping me awake enough to do this, and thanks to Carolina Simworks for the sponsorship, you for the broadcast, Jason for putting this all on. Just overall, really, really fun season.
Sounds good, Wes. Well, we'll see you back. Not here in Tuesday Night Thunder, but we'll be back in the Reddit series come June. Either whichever you're running, if you're running the IndyCar or the Turbo.
I'm going Turbo next season.
Okay. Well, I might not be on those broadcasts, so I might be on them occasionally, but Gary's going to be the broadcaster there, assuming it all comes together. But good seeing you up here once again, and good fortune coming into next season.
Yeah, thanks, and hope to see you again soon up here.
I'll be running in the crazy race tomorrow at Indianapolis, so I'll see you then if you're running. I'm running Lotus 79. I don't know.
You'll be passing me a bunch. I'm in the sprint car.
Oh, of course you would be.
Yep.
All right. Well, take care, Wes.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep. Hey, we got Kevin up here in the booth. I'm glad you made it. I was a little bit worried that you might not be in here because I was looking for you, and then I saw you were do I have a copy there, Kevin?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I figured I should look at the incident that I was involved in before I talk to you about it. So it took me so long to get here.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually see that, I don't think. Yeah. Are you talking about the one that you missed? Or was there another one?
No. Early on, it was like lap 15 or something like that.
Oh, that one.
Somebody at first I thought the person in front of me had blocked, and then on the replay, no, it didn't. It was just it was a fine move, but it did catch me a little bit off guard because of how sudden it was. So I swerved down to the inside. This is on the backstretch.
That's
right. And then somebody just chucked it down the inside, and luckily they only rode up over my back, and so it messed up the rear wing and everything like that, but suspension seemed to stay more or less aligned, so it was only a 30-second repair.
Yeah, I think you got lucky on that one. No wall impact. It was just took off your rear wing, and I was like, yeah, Kevin's good to go, I think. You're like throughout this season. So this is your first win here, but throughout the season, I noticed that your qualifying probably isn't the best, but you always race really, really well. You put
it seems to be a pattern. It's something I need to work on for sure. Like today, I thought I maybe had something okay for qualifying, and then of course I messed it up. I probably cost myself 0.2 at least on that lap. But yeah, it's even in pre-race practice and stuff. It's like, okay, well, I'm 9th. That means I got a chance today, right? I don't know what it is, but keep your nose clean and hope for the best, I guess.
Well, congratulations. Really good run here today. How much fuel did you have at the end?
I think I actually had like 1.3 as we were crossing the line, of course. 1.3 liters. 1.3 liters, sorry.
Okay, that isn't that much, yeah.
Yeah, not non-freedom units, so.
I actually, personally, run the liters myself because over in the IndyCar, it gives you, on the steering wheel, it gives you liters per lap.
Okay, sure.
It gives you, if you're on Imperial, it would give you miles per gallon, and that's kind of not very useful, whereas liters per lap is like super useful. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Similar here, like with setups in the garage, there's setups like on alignment, you can change it by 0.1 millimeters. And if you have it in inches, it's just like you can click it 5 times and it doesn't change. So you don't really know where you are when you're making your setup changes.
Well, I'm not sure where the point standings are going to wind up, but I know you were. Do you know where Robert finished? Robert Gamble finished in 7th. So you might have got it. Yeah,
I might have gotten it.
Yeah,
it's going to be close.
Confusing with drop weeks, though. It's confusing for me. So
I think he was coming into this 10 ahead of me or something like that, and his drop race is like I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I remembered it like a week ago when I looked, and then I didn't look ahead of time.
So he had
here.
12 points. So I'm going to guess that you finished 3rd, though, and that. But it's good to see him get that win last week, and now you got the win here this week. So.
Yeah. What a great way to end the season.
Yeah, monkey off your back for next season. So I'm assuming you'll be back for next season.
Yeah, I plan on it. Young kids in summertime. I don't know if I'll be as committed as this season, but get me on the podium the first 2 races, and I'm sure I'll lock it in the rest of the way because that's my personality, right?
Because after all, you had your newborn, and it sounded like you might not be coming back, but you ended up coming back every week. So
I decided to sacrifice officials' participation and stuff like that. I'm a community manager in the Indy Pro, and maybe I got 8 races in last season. I think I'm only at 2 for 4 this season, so I'm not exactly a good participator as far as representing the series. But hey, we just like to make it a great place for people to race.
Yeah, league racing can kind of really take over your life once you get involved in that. I've had the same experience myself. So, but yeah, really great run. Any final shout outs? Any sponsors, that kind of stuff. For your season and for tonight.
No, I mean, thanks for Jason for putting this on. Thanks for you for broadcasting, and we had a really great season with all the drivers. I really appreciate everybody's participation. Really clean, fun racing. Good people to interact with on the Discord, sharing setups or at least baseline setups and so on. Just a great group of guys. Wonderful to spend time with all of them.
Very good. And I think I might have said this already to you, but I said it to Wes. I think Jason's got, the first season can be difficult for us for any series, but it's off the ground now. We know it works, and I think there's good things ahead for this series.
Absolutely, agree 100%.
Yep. So, well, take care, Kevin, and hope our paths cross another time soon.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks.
All right, take care. All right, well, a final person in the booth is none other than our admin here in Jason Owens. We got a copy there, Jason?
What is up, Matt?
Well, I would say that question is for you. You and Wes put on, I'd probably say the best race of the season, honestly. I know you were really probably wanting to get that win, get that monkey off your back. And you went into the lead a few times, and you guys fought it out side by side, passing each other back and forth. But tell me about your race.
Yeah, so first off, I want to thank you for being our broadcast partner this for the first ever season of Tuesday Night Thunder here with the All Oval PM-18 League. It's been a great year. We had some I think some teething pains early in the season. We tried to figure out cautions in the track and the car updates mid-season, but there's a reason we picked this track last, and it delivered in spades. So unbelievably happy with everything this year. Thanks for Carolina SimWorks for coming on board. First podium in the M1 Sim chassis tonight, which I'm thrilled about. Just could not be more excited about that racing I had there with Wes.
Yeah, it was awesome. You guys did have that lap traffic come up once, and then I knew this is your moment. You're gonna have Arrow wash, but he got it, and you took advantage of it, and you were able to get around him. I was wondering if I know there's no team orders or anything, but were there admin orders? But it looked like there was definitely none. So, you guys raced side by side and put on a heck of a show here tonight.
Yeah, that's really what I wanted to do, was just put on a great show tonight. I really spent that first part of that long green flag run. I'd pitted a little bit earlier than Wes. I got caught up a little bit behind James Watson, and Wes got by me early. I was running a little more rear wing and a little less front wing than he was. And I was, I spent, I think, almost 20 laps trying to figure out how to deal with his aero wash in 3 and 4. And I finally figured out an entry point, a lift, and a return to throttle point that I could drive across his aero wash and get my run off of 4. And then I was able to pass him a couple times. And then my set that I run it really leans on the right front. I drive off the right front, a tight race car. A lot of the other guys in this league like really wicked loose cars, but I'm just weird like that. And so there towards the end, I'm figuring, I'm running more rear wing. Once I got by him, I wasn't able to run away because of that. So I knew I figured Kevin couldn't make it on fuel based on my full fuel runs I'd done earlier in the week and when the previous flag had fallen. So I was really just trying to preserve every bit of the right front and try and make either a white flag, like come into the white flag, or come into the checker pass for the win. And it didn't work out. I'm stoked for Kevin. He totally deserved a win. Great strategy. He and I were collaborating this week on a couple of portions of our set, and it worked really well. And Wes and I were collaborating on some other parts of the set. So it's, we all kind of ended up there on the podium, which is pretty cool. But what a fantastic race.
Yeah, it really, really was. And I just have to thank you, Jason, for bringing me on, bringing Race First on for the first season here. As I told everybody, I think I already told you today, I think, like we said already, there was some teething issues early on, but I think this race was great, but we also had probably the last 3 or 4 races were also pretty great as well. So I think that the series is going into the next season on a really strong point. And I know it's it's always controversial, the oval only PM-18 series out there, but you've made a home for anybody that wants that kind of thing, and they know where to find you. It's only 2-3 weeks before May 4th, and you're going to have your next season right around the corner.
Yeah, and while I'm here, I know it's kind of a meme on the forums, but I am a team member on the PM-18 community manager team. Just want to plug how fantastic this car is. Obviously, you can see from tonight how fantastic it is on ovals. It's also great on road. I think it's all around the best driver's car on the. And just want to get the word out there. Come run some officials. We're starting to see 2-3 splits multiple times a week. We've got 2 SOF broadcasts. And we'd just love to get more people driving this car and not have everybody pile into the MX-5 and the Skippy when they level up.
Yeah, there's so many things to choose from that I think new users are always a little confused on what to go after, And there's the F2000. It's a great car too, but that's fixed setup. There's an appeal there, but once you get out of there, you want to get to an open setup. The setups aren't overly complicated on these cars. They're tolerable, and this is a good place to be in the Pro 2000 car, PM-18. So Tuesday Night Thunder here, Carolina Simworks, really great sponsor, and I'm just going to say it again. Thanks for having me here, Jason. And our paths are going to cross really soon once again, because I'm going to be running the special events tomorrow night.
Yeah, that special event tomorrow night is. I think that's a must watch. I'm torn. I want to drive in it, but I also want to watch that. Like 5 classes, vintage Indy cars on track at the same time for 50 minutes. Like that is going to be a disaster in all the best ways. So
that's right.
Looking forward to seeing you on the track tomorrow night, Matt. And again, thanks for the awesome season. You will always be our first broadcast partner, and looking forward to seeing what else Race First does out there in the iRacing world.
Sounds good, Jason. Well, also we'll see if you end up running any of the Reddit stuff. So in the summer, I know it's going to be a little bit more difficult for people to make summer events this season, though, or coming up with everything reopening and everything, and it's going to be good though. But yeah, thanks again, and you take care, and congratulations once again on that podium.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. All right, that's it for us here tonight. Thanks to Jason once again. I think I thanked him enough broadcast there. And that's it for us for Race First. Congrats to Oyson Walsh for his championship. Ray Kingsbury for P2. And what we think is Kevin Smalley for P3. Let me say that was in the championship. Final results for this race here. Kevin Smalley P1. Wes Shire P2, Jason Owens P3, Simon Fell P4, James Curtis P5, James Watson P6, Robert Gamble P7, J. William Walker P8, Mackenzie Galata P9, Daniel Smith P10, Oyson Walsh P11, Patrick Byrne P12, Brandon Lambert P13, Mike Gossler P14, Jason Padu P15, and finally Chad Irvine P16. A couple of no starters and the Kingsbury brothers there, and P17, P18. So thanks again, everybody. Got a couple of shout outs. Thanks to Stormy and of course Christian Jasper being like kind of one of our sole commentators here. I love it. So take care, everybody.